and Associates, accounting done great by mates. For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates. Your tax needs and more later.
Hi there, I'm Daniel Lader, founder of Lader CPA and Associates, and welcome back to our ongoing series, Building a Successful Private Practice from Beginning to Infinity. So I asked my therapist if money causes stress. She said sometimes. My accountant said always. All right, so this week the topic we're diving into is the role of tax planning in mergers and acquisitions, M&A. Now, why are we talking about that? Well, because we're at the end of our cycle of this topic of building a successful private practice. We're in this section of closing down your business, and one way businesses can be closed down in one way or another, in one way or another, is a merger or an acquisition. So let's talk about that. So when people talk about buying or selling a business, they're usually focused on the price, but taxes can drastically change what you actually keep. So the goal is to understand how basic tax planning can help you to avoid surprises and keep more of the value in an M&A deal, mergers and acquisition deal. So what does mergers and acquisition mean in plain English? Well, an acquisition is one business buying another business. A merger is two businesses that combine into one. Now, in a private practice setting, this could look like you sell your practice to another owner or group, or you buy another practice or their client list, or you combine two practices under one company. Now, why does tax planning matter in this kind of deal? Well, taxes can be one of the biggest hidden costs in a sale or purchase. The same sales price can lead to very different after-tax results. Now, mistakes can cause higher taxes, a cash flow problem when the tax bill comes due before you're ready, and contract issues if there's tax items that weren't clearly addressed between both parties. So the big tax questions that shape the deal are things like, are you selling assets or selling ownership? How will and on that regard, when you're selling your stuff, your assets, versus selling the company, the ownership itself, that can change your taxes quite a bit. Now, another question, how will the price be split up? And we talked about this last week, I believe, but we separate and allocate the selling price between things like the equipment, the goodwill, things like your client list, any non-competes, etc. We have to break that sales price down into its various aspects. And those different types of categories can be taxed differently. How is the deal paid? Is it a lump sum payment, or is it an installment agreement with payments happening over time? This also affects your taxes, and especially the timing of your taxes. Another question, what is the business's structure? This will matter very much. Is it a sole proprietor or a single member LLC? Is it a multi-member LLC? Is it an S Corp or a C Corp or something else? All of these have different outcomes on the tax situation. And lastly, of course, a big one, are there any state tax issues to be aware of. Now, the point of giving you these questions is not to give you a clear answer now, but to give you the questions that you should be thinking about when you're ready for this to happen. Now, there's some common items that can create surprises, tax surprises in a deal. The goodwill and the client list. This is often a large part of the value, and it is taxed differently than things like your office equipment, your chair, your desk, etc. So keep that in mind, especially in a private practice. Most of the value comes from the intangible. You might have performance-based payments as built into part of the deal. That can affect how your taxes are being handled. There might be non-compete agreements happening as well. Those can be taxed differently, and a part of the purchase price gets allocated to those kinds of things. If another company is buying your company, they don't want you to go out and start a new company and start competing with them directly again. That's what the nature of a non-compete is, and there is a taxable value to that. Now, there's some simple tax planning moves that will help before you agree to any kind of deals. First, you plan ahead. Plan months ahead. Your tax strategy is best before the contract is final. Model out the after-tax outcome so you know what's going to happen to your tax situation. What do you get to keep is the key question there. Now, be intentional with the structure of your business. Be intentional with the structure of the deal. Asset deals versus equity deals or ownership deals, those have very different effects. Keep that in mind and plan for that. Review how the purchase price will be allocated. That is going to be a massive tax influence, a massive tax lever, switching between different forms of taxation. Coordinate with your CPA and your attorney. The tax language in a contract matters. And set aside cash for taxes, cash from the sale. Avoid spending your sales proceeds that will be needed for the future tax payments, because those tax payments, potentially, even under the best situation, can be large. So don't go spending everything you got on a new car, a new Lamborghini, whatever you get, a new house in the Bahamas. Don't do that. Save a portion of that, because there will be a tax payment coming due. Now, the benefits of doing this right, planning for a merger or acquisition and the tax parts, planning for that right. The benefits are you have a much more predictable tax bill. You have better cash flow planning. You know when you need to pay the tax bill so you can manage your cash. There's a lot fewer gotchas after the closing. And you are in a much stronger negotiating position because you understand what the terms and the aspects will really cost you. And it'll give you a smoother transition for your bookkeeping, your payroll, and your reporting. Now, a couple closing thoughts. In an M&A deal, a mergers and acquisition deal, the price is only part of the story. Tax planning helps you understand what you actually keep and helps you avoid the expensive surprises. Now, critical question for you to think about. If you sold or bought a practice in the next year, what would matter more to you? The headline price or the after-tax amount you actually get to keep? And why? Now, if you have questions on this topic, and it is a complicated topic, if you have questions on this topic, feel free to reach out to me, DM me, message me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. If you would like to schedule a free 30-minute discovery call where we talk about your business and you and your tax strategy, go ahead and DM us. We'll send you a free discovery call link for that free 30-minute call. Follow and subscribe for any future tax events like this one or the tax tips that we're frequently giving out, and visit our website, latercpa.com. I will see you all on the next video. Have a great weekend. Keep helping others to help themselves, and let us help you to do just that. Bye.
For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates. For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates.